I know several people have some deadlines in terms of their schedule, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we can catch up with others as they arrive. Want to begin this morning with David Adams, who has an announcement about the next Public Officials Dialogue Luncheon.
Thanks.
Good morning.
On Wednesday of next week, a week from today, at 12 o'clock, at the Chamber of Commerce, Suite 100 on the first floor, the 126th, thus far, altercation-free dialogue lunch for Allen County appointed and elected public officials will take place. That event will begin at noon and last no later than about 5 minutes till 1 o'clock, because a number of our participants have actual day jobs and need to get back to work. Our speaker will be timely, as it turns out. This morning's Lima News, front page above the fold story about the land bank, will be Rachel Gilroy, Allen County Treasurer, and perhaps the most knowledgeable person about the land bank project in Allen County. She will be our keynote speaker, and that will prompt some dialogue stories that we will share with each other about real estate sales and purchases. Thank you for your participation in this project, which is now in its 14th year. It began in April of 2003 and continues, as far as I can tell, forever. We are delighted with the participation and look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
David just stole my paper.
Oh, I took your paper. Oh, sorry.
That's fine. We have, I know that, is someone here from LACNIP? Okay. John, you're here. All right, very good, because we have Roy down. John, if you want to come up, you have an announcement about the Ottawa River Clean Up.
Thank you. I'm John Schneider, board member for LACNIP, Lima Allen County Neighborhoods in Partnership. Just 3 days, we have the Ottawa River Clean Up, which is a way to bring spring to our community. We're asking for volunteers to join us. We're meeting at the Red Cross Saturday morning on April 22nd at 9 a.m., and we will be picking up trash and debris along the Ottawa River. We are asking for as many volunteers as we can have because we are ambitious in trying to pick up debris and trash on a 20-mile area in the city of Lima, in Shawnee Township, and in Bath Township. This is activity sponsored by Lima Allen County Neighborhoods in Partnership, Ottawa River Coalition, Keep Allen County Beautiful, Right Refuse, Republic Services, and the City of Lima. So it's a collaboration, it's a cooperative effort, and we hope to actually literally pick up a large amount, including tons of trash. This starts at 9 a.m. This will be followed by a light luncheon, and then also people are eligible for a T-shirt, Ottawa River cleanup, and then also a certificate of completion. We will provide gloves, goggles if they need that, and we'll have maps and areas where people can be involved with this. Various groups have contacted us, including schools, churches, or just families, or just individuals. If young people are encouraged to participate, we ask that there be at least one adult for every 5 minors that are participating in this. Again, this is Saturday, October 22nd at 9 a.m. We'll meet at the Red Cross, and then we'll go to different places, pick up trash and debris, and we'll make this community look a lot better. The river's already looking better because we've done this for several years now, and we're going to continue with this. And the forecast will be for sunshine, so I'm told. And that's what I certainly am counting on. So anyway, we're going ahead, and it's a fun event, and it's amazing how much can be accomplished if large numbers of people cooperate and help each other. Thank you.
Very good, John. Thank you. And of course, that actually begins a series of weekend cleanups that take place each year. We have the Ottawa River Clean Up that really kicks that off for our community, but then on the following 4 or 5 weekends, we have the cleanups throughout the city. And Autumn, are we still looking for people to sponsor dumpsters? Okay, so there's still opportunities to man, if a church or a neighborhood group or others want to take on a dumpster in a given neighborhood and help residents do their disposal of material that they gather at their homes. That's still can be arranged by calling Autumn Swanson at the Department of Community Development. Thank you. Also this morning, Susan Crotty, the Director of Community Development, is here with a statement of concern, actually, about what's happening with the federal budget.
Thank you. Well, first, I would like to say that, just to explain, the City of Lima is an entitlement community, meaning that we receive money directly from the federal government for the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership programs. Each year, we have to do a plan update, which we're going to start again this year. In order for us to be able to use the money, we have to develop a 5-year plan, and then we do an annual update. So we've laid out a schedule for that, and I just wanted to make everyone aware that we'll have our community meeting where we'll go over the programs a little bit more in detail on May the 1st at 5:30 here in the council chambers, and we'll do an application briefing on May the 4th at 5:30 because we do take applications from organizations in the community for eligible activities. We also have to take applications from city departments as well that utilize these funds. There was a wrinkle this year, though. The White House budget that came out on March 16th proposes the complete elimination of CDBG and HOME. This is very concerning for us. For this program year, and the program year runs from October to September, so we are halfway through our program year, we received a combined $1.2 million, a little bit over $1.2 million for these programs. That means, with the proposed budget, we would get none of that. Obviously, the city can't just make that up with general fund money or other resources. We just don't have that. So we'd have to make some very, very difficult decisions if this budget is what is adopted. Some of the things that are funded, that we fund, everything that we do is to assist low to moderate income populations and to remove slum and blight from the community. I know there's been concern expressed about some of the economic development programs that are used in some other communities with CDBG funds, but here we really just use it all for low to moderate income populations and slum and blight. For instance, we do use typically $80,000 to $90,000 a year to demolish some of the dilapidated structures in the community. Each year that helps us do about maybe 10 dilapidated homes that need to be removed. We fund the mayor just mentioned our neighborhood support program. That is funded with CDBG dollars. And Autumn's been doing a lot of good things out there to really generate community pride and get our neighborhood associations organized. But that program, again, that's all funded with CDBG dollars. We have a down payment assistance program. We have emergency repair programs for individuals who need assistance to fix up their homes. That's just among a number of things we do. Also, our streets department, our public works department, they use CDBG funds to leverage other dollars on some improvements that help make street crossings ADA compliant, and a number of other projects that we do. So we're very concerned about it. We have, the mayor has written a letter to our senators and Representative Jordan asking them to please oppose that elimination of these programs and to include money in the budget for it. And we will be asking council to pass a resolution as well on Monday. So again, if I would ask anybody, if you have a relationship with any of these individuals, with Senator Brown or Senator Portman or Representative Jordan, to please let them know that these programs are important for our community, and we would like to see them funded again. We have to hope that they will see the benefit, because again, everything that we use our money for in this community, it really does help the quality of life. So we really want to make sure that we can continue that, but we are threatened with this cut. Again, though, the federal government does require that we meet all the regulations and guidelines, so we still have to follow this process in order to do our plan update in a timely manner. So we will still use an estimate of what we think we may get, and we'll start planning using that, because we have to do that. So again, May 1st will be our community meeting. So I would invite everyone to attend. And I just want to add, too, that ironically, this is National Community Development Week, which is celebrating the important work of CDBG and HOME. So maybe that's coming at a good time, because we do want to point out all the good things that those programs have done. So, thank you.
I can't imagine what condition our community would be in, and communities like us all across the country, without the block grant. I mean, it's just absolutely an essential cornerstone piece of community funding that just will be devastating to communities if this not only elimination but rescission happens, because what you described is there, in effect, the budget proposal stops funding in this budget year for which we've already entered into contracts. So we would have to unwind a whole series of commitments that we've already made, in addition to the idea that we're going to plan in a context where we may end up with zero at the end of the day, which I think will be very frustrating to everybody engaged in that discussion. So, thank you. Also this morning, and the reason that a number of you are here, I'm pleased, and I want to invite up a number of people because we're going to announce that the city will be seeking to enter into a collaborative project with a number of local agencies to basically undertake a clean fuels assessment of our various fleets and rolling stock. So those that are collaborating with us in this include the Lima City Schools. Randy, if you'll come up. Tom Mazer from Regional Planning, Jackie Fox from LACA. We also have representatives here from ODOT. Chris, if you'll come up. And also, although she's not here, we also have the Regional Transit Authority that also is joining us in this. And our lead technical assistance provider is Clean Fuels Ohio. I want to just as background say that this is a discussion that was prompted by Steve Campbell, who called on me. Steve was previously at ODOT as the deputy director under Governor Strickland, and then he joined Mayor Mike Coleman's staff, and we've worked together on a number of projects over the years. And he called one day and said, "Hey, I think there's an opportunity here for the city to really understand what range of options there are for your the way in which you power and fuel your fleet." And as we got into that discussion, it became a much broader sense of opportunity to actually try to look at this from a larger community perspective. So, Steve, I appreciate the fact that you knocked on my door and asked to get together. So I also want to now introduce Sam Spofford, who is the founder and executive director of Clean Fuels Ohio. He and his organization will be engaged in this process with us as we both seek funding from the state for the assessment, and then actually use the funds to do assessments for all the organizations that we've identified. Sam?
Well, thank you very much, Mayor Berger, and to all of you partners for participating. Just a little bit of information about our organization, Clean Fuels Ohio. We're a statewide nonprofit organization. We've been around for 15 years. We have also a relationship with the U.S. Department of Energy through a program called Clean Cities. And the focus of that program and our organization is to work to help businesses and governments and even individuals with vehicles, whether they're fleet vehicles or individual vehicles, to make transitions to various forms of alternative fuels and efficient vehicle technologies. And the purpose of that is to diversify ourselves from petroleum-based fuels, but also to save money, to use resources that are locally based, like biofuels and other energy resources that are based in Ohio. And so we take a kind of, as we call it, a fuel neutral approach and technology neutral approach, where we will work in partnership with everyone to help assess a wide range of options, not just looking at one option, to look at a wide range of options, and that even includes a business as usual option. So, you know, the whole purpose of a study like this is to assess what makes sense from an economic standpoint and from a sustainability standpoint as well. So the process is to analyze the current composition of all the fleets that are involved, understand what vehicles they have, what the replacement schedules are, how much fuel is being used, what type of fuels, and then to look broadly at a range of options such as compressed natural gas, propane auto gas, biofuels, electric vehicles, and certain vehicle efficiency technologies. It's important to recognize that probably the least expensive option is often just not using as much fuel, and so that's going to be an important part of the consideration. We take very seriously an examination of best practices of fleets that have already transitioned and you know what their experiences have been, whether it's any of the fuels that I've mentioned, and just kind of how that they've implemented successfully, what the lessons learned have been. And then, of course, it's part of the process is to look at maintenance issues. Often it's the case with certain types of fuels require a different approach to maintenance and even maintenance facilities. There can be costs associated with these maintenance facility upgrades, and that needs to be carefully looked at just to make sure that the investment there makes sense in terms of a return on investment of the different fuels. And also fuel infrastructure. It may be the case that additional infrastructure is needed to refuel vehicles. In some cases, that infrastructure is not very expensive. In other cases, it is more expensive. So that's an important consideration. And at the end of the day, to develop sort of a coordinated action plan to identify as many different opportunities for shared services, routing, shared fleet operations, maintenance operations, refueling infrastructure, and then finally a consideration of whatever funding resources, different grant programs, different financing programs that may be available to help with the transition if a transition makes sense. We're currently working on these types of assessments and have done them with a number of communities, for example, Trumbull County and a number of partners there. Hilliard, Grove City. We're doing an assessment also right now with the Ohio State University. We've done an assessment with the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio. We're currently involved in just getting started with assessments in Talmadge, the city of Cleveland, and a number of partners there, and various others. So it's kind of a wide range. We've had some very small communities that we partnered with, and then some also very large ones. So I guess that would be the comments that I would make, and again, thanks a lot for having us here, and we look forward to working with you.
Chris, you have some comments on behalf of
Just a couple quick comments. Morning, everybody. I have Dave Sheckelhoff with us, who is responsible. He's our fleet manager for District 1, and Mark Vandemark and Tony Lotz from the Facilities Department. They're going to be involved in the study. I just wanted to say that we look forward to participating in this program. In the past, ODOT on a statewide basis has utilized biodiesel, and we're not doing that so much anymore. 5 years ago, we looked at utilizing natural gas. The decision was made not to make our fleet natural gas in the future at that time. But we understand that technology is changing. The shale industry here in Ohio has ample supply of natural gas for us, and we have the support of all the local entities up here that we could actually work together and have a central fueling location. So, and it is feasible that the study will show that we need to convert all of our automobiles to electric and all of our dump trucks to natural gas, and if that's the case, we can certainly try to do that. So we just look forward to participating in this, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, hi. Well, West Ohio CAP is really excited about this opportunity. Of course, we have the Head Start program. It's a federally funded program, and transportation is very expensive. We spend more than $250,000 in transportation costs to transport children from all over Allen County to our locations. And so if we can save money, that money will go back to the Head Start program and improve services. So that's our first concern. Our second concern is that the federal Head Start program is no longer helping us purchase buses. And so as our fleet ages, we're going to have to come up with funds to replace those buses. And so hopefully if we can participate in this program, save some money, and make the environment a little bit greener, we're more than happy to do so.
Well, first, Lima City Schools is excited to be partnered with the city and Clean Fuels Ohio. We're always looking for ways to save money and help the environment, and when the two come together and make sense, we do that. Last year, we unveiled a $3.9 million energy savings project into the district. We just wrapped that up, and we did have quite an impact on the environment, a positive impact, and save money also. So this gives us an opportunity to continue on with our energy conservation efforts, looking at our bus fleet and our service vehicles. And hopefully we can save money and, excuse me, and help out the environmental at the same time. So, this partnership is a win-win for the Lima City Schools and basically the community as a whole. So that's what I have to say.
I saved the best for last. Mr. Mazur?
I was cheated, I tell you. I think one of the big opportunities here is to take a look at all of the available technology and the fuels that are out there and see which are the most cost-effective and which can be the most easily implemented. From a regional perspective, certainly we're always cognizant of our roadways and the air quality. Working with RTA on a daily basis, I know that they're conscientious of fuel costs and efficiency, as well as the vehicle emitted pollutants. So from our perspective, there's no downside to the study. As a matter of fact, I see this as a real big opportunity so that everybody can take a look at what their own footprint is in terms of the vehicle emitted pollutants, no matter how big or how small. So why not, is my question. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I often expect Mr. Mazur to go on, but that was kind of short.
Try to keep all the 4 letters.
Well, when we first sat down, my habit in this was to say, well, we've done this before. We've taken a look at this. We've taken a look at that. And then once you really sit down and look at the range of opportunities, you discover what you didn't know, which is a lot. There's a lot of options out there. And one of those I'll just point out to you is that, as Sam mentioned, a big savings can come just by not using fuel. Well, it turns out in police vehicles in particular, a lot of their fuel is spent idling, because when they're on the scene, they don't turn off their equipment because they have to keep all their electronics running. Well, there's technology for actually increasing the efficiency of that idle in a way that just saves on fuel. Well, I didn't know that, and nobody at the police department knew that. So the discovery process, I think, is what is an exciting opportunity here. And it is also going to map for us what I think is not necessarily just an instantaneous set of changes, but rather a multi-year approach to how we deal with equipment replacement and capital investment over time. So it's really, I think, a very good opportunity for all of us. So two things I'll just mention finally. We will be at City Council on Monday asking for authority to enter into a collaborative agreement with everyone and to apply for Local Government Innovation Fund grant of $50,000, which will retain the services of Clean Fuels Ohio to perform this assessment for us. We're obviously hoping for council's support. Secondly, the lead person for us on the project will be Sharita Smith, Chief of Staff, and she'll be continuously, pulling people together and moving the project forward. So I want to thank everybody and appreciate your time and attention today, and we look forward to making this happen. So thank you very much. Lastly, Carrie Bush is here, and she has an announcement about a community forum with Congressman Jordan. Carrie?
Hello, my name is Carrie Bush. I am part of the leadership committee of a local advocacy group called AHEAD, which stands for Allen and Hardin for Election, Action, and Democracy. We have secured Jim Jordan, our congressional representative, for a town hall next Monday here in Lima from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Veterans Memorial Civic and Convention Center. We are welcoming questions from local people, constituents of Jordan's throughout his district, Ohio 4. You can email them to aheadohio, ahead.oh@gmail.com, and we will forward them to our selection team. And that's about it.
What time is that again?
6 to 8 p.m.
At the Civic Center.
Yep.
Next month.
Yes, the 24th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that's all that we have for today, so we'll break down for individual interviews. Thank you all for your attendance and participation this morning.